So, hello. Welcome in. We don't have all of the ruckus, the music playing. And now I have an echo in my head because I'm listening to the wrong things on my headset. So, I'm distracting myself because I can hear myself. It's a little different setup than usual here. Um, I have my mic in this room. I'm still streaming from my main computer in the other room, but I have the rest of my setup out here. But I don't have a headset feed from the computer that's in the other room. So it makes it a little difficult. I'm actually listening to the stream audio, which is a couple of seconds behind what I'm actually saying, so I am actually hearing myself. I don't hear any music though, but that is probably because I turned that off last week. Let's turn off studio mode on this. Let me look at my scenes. I have a remote set up here with a tablet. Huh? Here's music group unknown. Why is it unknown? Oh well, looks like we'll have to go back to some white bat audio for our music for this actual stream. So, let's flip over to this other camera and see how things are going. We have in front of us here a small smattering of the things we're going to be working on today. Not exactly. I do want to go sort out my music, so I will run an ad and I will be right back. If I can.
Lowe's knows the best deals are the ones that keep on giving. So shop our 25 days of deals, where you can discover brand.
Okay, I think we are all set. I think we're all set. And zoom out. Yeah. All right. Bug Boy was a bad boy. Hey, how you doing? Welcome in. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Yeah, everybody seems like, you know, have a few people of us in the same category streaming at the same time from the same community, but it is what it is. We are at the workbench today. In case you haven't, obviously you noticed. So, yeah. Do let me know if you can hear me. I believe you can. Let me switch over to here. Nope, that doesn't really help me at all. I have a tablet, not a tablet. Yeah, it is a tablet. Tablet over here with some software on it that lets me do some basic controls for OBS. But yeah, it's kind of limited and not particularly quick. But it lets me do stuff out here and still be able to stream from the main computer. So I'm gonna try to keep up on chat and all that. So thanks for letting me know. What I have here is the parts for the Mark II kit of this UFO. I painted it black, and then I painted it silver, and then I airbrushed it red, and then had to touch some stuff up because I tried sanding and it didn't work. But this, not looking quite like I want the finish to look, but I think it'll look good when I get a clear coat on it, a nice gloss clear coat. It's a little rougher than I want it, but it will do its purpose. And I have, I think what I'll do before I put the clear coat on, just because the clear coat is a rattle can, and it's cold outside. So, I think I will spray the clear coat on after I add the other colors onto these parts. That's the plan anyway. That is the plan. So, alright. First things first. We have our nasty paint water. I need to refresh that. Been using the same little tub of water for a while now. I do have this guy out here for visual interest. I don't know what I'm doing with him yet. I just ended up spraying some extra paint on him because I had it in the airbrush, and I had the airbrush out. So, I should probably just rust it up and make it a crashed ship or something. Do something with it. Let's see. Maybe get the paint out. No, I have this paint, which is all I need anyway. I wish I had some good chrome paint, but I just got some cheap Artist's Loft acrylic metallic silver. So, not exactly chrome. Ooh, I do have... No, I might just use the other thing I was thinking about using, which is rub and buff. I'm gonna try that, see how that goes. Hello, roses are red, violets are blue. Welcome in, I'm glad to see you. Could we be any more cheesy? I don't know. But I'm glad to see you here. Welcome in. Gonna try that stuff. Alright. And somewhere around here I have some gloves. Not that you necessarily need gloves for this. But, you know. This computer fell asleep. Does that mean my puppet is offline? Not always. I'll probably do a, well, I've already done some streams with my face on it, so I guess that's not a big deal. I was trying to think of the best way to apply this. Do I use a cocktail? Stick. Somewhere around here I have some cotton swabs. I don't have some here, I know exactly where they are. Some other ones, anyway. I've collected so much stuff for doing modeling, and I don't do a whole lot of modeling, so I should probably stop collecting junk and supplies that I'm not using. Or set it up in a more permanent way so it's easier to do. Hello, friends. Let's try it on this first. How are things with you guys? Are you all working on any interesting projects? That was weird the way I said that. I felt interesting projects. All right. This. I don't know. I think maybe this should be a paint thing. We'll try. I guess I could possibly use paint with this. A paintbrush. I guess it's thin enough. Try to paint this end part here. And this is a wax metallic thing, so I don't need to get it to look smooth and perfect, because this is just the first step. I mean, you're supposed to buff it after it's applied. That's what I'm going to try to do with this. It looks nice and shiny. Let me zoom in a bit and try to stay in focus or in shot. Hello, Miss Diane. Welcome in. Glad to see you. Hope things are going well with you. We're actually doing stuff in the real world this time. Looks like there's an extra bump or something there. I guess that's some silver that should be there. See if I can remove it. Don't know that I can. Don't know that I need to. Yeah, me too. I guess I can touch that up with some red paint if I really, really need to. That's more than I need. All over the place now. It's on the cap, it's on other fingers. I'll have to be careful with that. But the one part I definitely want it on is these rings here. See, I'm already getting it farther afield than I want. Let's try this. Yeah, I think paintbrush is the way to go for application. will just switch to the paint rather than the stuff. Let's see. Though I might come back with a little bit of this to add the extra shine, but I think for now application will be easier with a brush. That looks so lovely though. All right. I don't have a paper towel near me, and I need to get one. But I will leave that for later. Till I desperately need it. I'll run across the room to get one. I'm gonna take these. Boy. And no such excitement. Let's do a little dollop of paint. All over my finger now. Alright. I think I already dipped this in the water, but just to be careful, just to be on the safe side. You don't want the paint going up into the top of the bristles where they can get gunked up. At least that's the idea behind the water a little bit, to at least thin it out when it gets there. I don't know exactly. I'm not an expert at this. I'm not an expert. Clearly. This is where I need to be in order to be seen on camera. I wonder if I should have masked the area off. Do I have a steady enough hand? Probably not. Maybe I should have done the clear coat before this step so that I would have a point of recovery. So if I do a clear coat, then I could scrape the new paint off without damaging the red paint. Other options would be to make vinyl masks for all these little holes and then stick the vinyl down and then spray the silver. I don't know, that might be looking a little sloppier than I wanted to, but maybe I'm just being too picky. It is, after all, going to be used for product shots and such, so I could hide any issues. Got a little silver on that red. Oh, this is gonna take a while. Hope you all are seated comfortably and have a nice drink handy as you watch me make little jabby motions with the paintbrush. Love the color. Oh, thank you. Not the exact color I was going for, but it'll work, I think. One thing I noticed with the couple of people that I've seen do these kits, basically Andy and a guy named Lou Del Maso. He did a YouTube video where he painted one of them up. And they both did more colorful things. Partially because, you know, it's not part of an existing franchise, so you can do whatever you want with it. So, whereas I tended to just make them gray or silver, some other people were doing more colorful things. I thought I could do that too. I'll make it look like a new car. That's the idea. So it's kind of going for a red and cream interior. Red exterior, cream interior, but you're not going to see much of the cream interior anyway, so. Of course, for product shots, you want it to look as nice as possible. For a movie, you want it to look as nice as possible, but you know, you're not going to see that much of it for very long. So, since this is for publicity purposes, I should maybe be careful. On the other hand, I might just run out of patience. The other way to do this would be to use a paint pen, which I do have for silver. We just have to be careful to not... I laugh. I was just saying, I just have to be careful to not let it touch other things, and I like notice that I have silver on the edge right there where it looks like it's chipped paint. So. Oops. So much for being careful. Probably the stuff that's on my fingertips. Probably have to go back around these circles again with red to clear up stuff like that. So we can do it with a pen. I am not well practiced with brush and paint. But I don't need to tell you that. Okay. I was just moving my head around to see if my puppet responds because the computer that's running that software is... The screen went blank, so I just want to make sure it's not shutting down. It looks like it's okay. I suppose if I try to make it look pristine, I have a better shot of it looking like it's naturally weathered instead of intentionally weathered. Is that a thing? Oh, you can't even see it. Oof. No, no, don't do that. looking at this, I'm seeing all of the little ones. So, how about them politics, huh? Just kidding. We don't want to talk about politics here. It's not that kind of show. Boo, politics. Hello, Craft Redux. Welcome in. Hey, Sean. We're just trying to paint some silver on here without getting too much silver all over everything. And it's not going spectacularly successfully at that endeavor. But we're gonna press on through and hopefully get this thing painted up today. Get the paint job done today at least. Just yeah, like I said, limited success. Okay, gearing up to try the hairspray chipping technique. That would work on the UFO, I bet. Yeah, it would. I just am not trying to do a chipped paint. Not trying to do a distressed look. I was just wanting it to be showroom pristine. But I might end up being with a bit of damage anyway, a bit of wear. A little bit of wear is probably good. Just add some depth to it. Make it look like it's actually done some traveling. Usually when I've done chipping, I've just added a little bit of like the silver paint on top of what's already there. Works pretty well. At least for the scale of projects I do. I think I first heard about that technique by watching Steve Neal's Garage on YouTube. He was doing a build of a ship for a while. Scratch built cast parts and everything. It's really cool. But ran into some issues with the music licensing. It's like he got the music from a stock footage place, but then still got copyright claims anyway, so basically pulled down all the old videos. And I stopped watching him because I was watching too much YouTube. I have a fat layer of silver on a Starfield bot I made, then hairspray, then green acrylic. Yeah, that would go well with a Starfield build. Have you been playing much Starfield, or are you just enjoying the aesthetics? You learned about the hairspray technique from one of Darth Buzz's Matt Dixon bot builds. Those are also good. It's like stuff I do, and don't mind me playing Tetris. I don't mind you playing Tetris. Not at all. Maybe I'll play Tetris later. What version of Tetris are you playing when you can get a chance to type? Yeah, the Matt Dixon's build robots and the ones that I make or some of the ones I make are kind of definitely have some similar design aesthetic. It's like I want to be careful to not copy them. But you know, a domed robot head with a couple of eyes on it's kind of hard to not look similar. Of course, we're both going from the same design language to begin with. Not that I think I am as good of a modeler or sculptor or engineer or whatever. It's not that comparison. We do different things. So far, this is looking like it's painted. Like a painted model. But that's what it is. Wondering if I should make larger versions of these things. Only one more to go after this, and I'm feeling impatient. I think it's the arcade version I posted the pic on the Discord. Okay, cool. Thanks. I'll check that out later. On the, I have the Tetris Effect Connected. I did have access for it with Xbox Game Pass a while back, but that's not on there anymore, I don't think. But I did purchase it for the Quest 2 headset, VR headset. That's fun to play sometimes. Haven't done it in a while, though. I haven't actually had my headset on in a while. I did see a little story that Steam has their own streaming app now for it, so could try that. Chat later. Need food. All right, Miss Diane. I hope you do. Hope you get good, nutritious food in you, or at least tasty food. That's usually all I can muster. Sometimes not even tasty food, just food. The device it's on looks a bit like a Game Boy Color. Okay. It does the important bits of being like Tetris. My patience is wearing thin. feel like I'm gonna start making sloppy mistakes. Or already have. Look at that. Look at all that silver around there compared to like the first ones. Okay, it's not that much better. Or worse. AKA, I don't have to worry about the internet going off. Yeah. It is a problem with modern gaming, can be. That, like, how do you connect to something that won't start unless you're connected to the internet? I think I will come back later and touch up the red. Where I was a little overzealous with the Silva. Anyway, put that there. Right. Take a moment to stretch and check Discord. Since I'm not at my desktop, can't do a screen share easily. I could, but I'm not at that screen, so. Let's see. What you do? So this is what Rose is playing. Cool. Just a little Tetris. Nice single-use device. So I'm just responding to a message. I can hear the music a little bit from the other room. I have the volume up so I can hear if anything goes crazy. Well, if there are any alerts, is the idea. I have the volume up loud enough so if there are any alerts, I might have a chance of actually hearing it. So, get my chat back up there. Okay. Sorry for the little interlude. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing silver on here. Or, I don't know, I thought about maybe doing like a dark gray in the bottom here. Like some silver details. We'll just add the silver details now, since I have the silver out. Because, you know, the details are there so that this kind of stuff can be done. Oops. So I wanted to have some little details in there that could be called out with some dry brushing or other little painting techniques. Some people interpret those as lights. I might think they're knobs. These little doodads on the top. I don't really have an idea what they are, actually. I don't have a specific thing in mind for that. Just needed some interesting detail. I have a feeling that this is going to be kind of chipped up looking after all of the little silver flecks get all over the place. This part here, as the top part of this, or at least the side panels, hasn't changed from the original model. I did originally have the idea that I would have panels that could be removed, and these inner sections would be attached below, so those are actually separated now, but not in the final part, but just in like the internal geometry. But I decided to go simple, and rather than try to add more detail to the interior and a way to see the interior, that I would just remove the interior detail and use that space, leave the space open for lighting and other things. That was messy. Look at how messy that was. Like I said, I guess I'm getting a little bored with it. A little impatient, that's what it was, impatient. So I'm not as careful. Plus the paint's been sitting out for a little while. I don't think that's long enough to make it extra goopy. But it could be having an effect. It's like that side is so... the top part of it is... except for that bit down there, it's pretty nice. This here, it's like all over the place. I do have the interior pretty much finished, I think. Well, that little dark wash there is a little too far forward. I need to maybe remove some of that or fill in some white again. But overall, pretty pleased with that. I'm gonna move this back so you can actually see it. Where did I put the paint? Here did I put the paint? Oof. That's rather milky white. It's not my fingers. Just want to touch up this a little bit. I don't want it. I want it to have some detail and interest, but I don't want it to look dirty. Don't want it to look grimy. It kind of does. And here's the little guy. I did another coat of gray on him, and I think he turned out really nice. I did like the look of him when he was wet, when the paint was wet. I like that bit better, so I was thinking about doing a clear coat on him. I think I have some stuff that might work. I'm not sure why that, where that dark spot came from. I guess I just got into the paint in a weird way. There's the little monitor for him. I would like to figure out a way to, have a little light in there, but it's really tiny. It's doable. But I'd probably have to just make some changes to the model and reprint it, which is fine. I do have some other parts on the printer that I need to clear off, or I need to process. I made a little, this is of course the dome that goes on there. I did make a little windshield type version, kind of similar to what Andy did with his modified version. Let's see. I kind of want to paint the interior of these things. Just because they would be silver, but I don't think that's going to be seen at all, so I don't know if it's even worth it. And this, I feel like it should be different colors. Like, kind of like, I feel like the middle should be a silver, and this outer ring should be... I don't know, I feel like the outer ring should be silver, because that, it sits in there, so it's like, why would the outer ring be red, and the inner ring be silver? So, I don't know, they'll just make the outer ring silver to start with. It's going to be a slightly different tone because it has a red undercoat. Of course, so does all of the other stuff on there, so whatever. I should probably break out a bigger brush for this. This brush is not behaving as well as I'd like anyway. And thank you for posting the picture in the Discord. Pardon me as I look around trying to figure out where I should type this. Pity Smile, welcome in. I did not see you on my chat feed. On my phone, weird. So, pocket size, no internet required, brain happy. Okay, yeah, I'm behind on chat because for some reason it wasn't updating on my phone. Alright. Howdy, howdy. Ooh, this looks so good. Thank you. I will probably post pictures in Discord. We'll see. I should get a paintbrush from the other room. I think that's one thing I'm missing. So I will be right back. And I'm back, but I'll be back again. A little thirsty, so I wanted a beverage. Level 11! On the Tetris. Is it getting fast? Which of these cheap paintbrushes do I want to use for this? I think we'll go with this one. Kitty Smile is playing Monster Train. I don't know what that is. There's a lot of things that I don't know what they are, though, so... This is a little thin. A little too thin. It's gonna take a lot of coats. Too much water in the brush, I think. Card-based, sort of roguelike. Okay. Have to remember to check my camera to make sure that the thing I'm doing is actually in shot. Would be kind of important. This is a video streaming platform. What good is it without the video? What do you think this is? A podcast? We're not that interesting. I guess we could be if we wanted to. If you were to make a podcast, what would it be? What would it be about? In the words of Lou Del Maso in the video he just uploaded yesterday, you can't, or at least I can't, paint silver with a brush and have it come out good. I think I'll make the interior. I don't know. This is the part that's not going to be seen anyway, but I do want there to be interest in there for some reason. It's like I put the detail there, I may as well highlight it, right? Things wet and cold in Oregon. Looking at the window and it looks kind of sunny out here. road is wet. Or at least it was this morning. I've heard that the weather was doing stuff in England. Yeah, we had freezing fog advisories here last week. I didn't see any though. Saw a lot of fog. I didn't see it freezing though. If I was higher up, higher elevation probably would be. Snow in Great Britain. Don't think we've had any snow yet this season. Where I'm at. I live a bit south of Seattle, Washington, US. So in the Pacific Northwest, as we call it. Because, you know, the northwest part of the country and the Pacific Ocean, we're not exactly counting Alaska for some reason, because that's more north and more west. I don't know, maybe that is considered part of the Pacific Northwest. Lots of heavy frost, but no snow is what Pity is dealing with. Better than an Atlanta heat wave. Maybe someday I'll invest in some actual model paint. Oh well, I'll let that dry for a bit. Please excuse me while I put my attention off to the side to check some messages. Level 14! Is this at the point where you can't really, don't really have time to react much? Just do what you can to get it in the hole. It's a handheld standalone unit that she put a picture of it in my Discord. Thinking about using some polyacrylic to cover the alien to give him more of a clear finish, or a shiny finish, but not too shiny. Rose may have bought a plasma ball at the same time. Alright. Zoom out. Like the plasma balls are 20 bucks now? Look at how rusty and crusty this is. You can tell how much I use this. Basically, use it to coat my workbench once in a while. I hope this doesn't ruin everything. I should probably test it. Oh, they used to be 300 bucks, yeah. I don't think I ever paid attention to the price of them. So, but they are kind of fun. I'm just gonna dribble some of this in here. It's probably more than I need. So, what I'm using as this palette is a silicone. Yeah, it is silicone, not silicon. Silicone. It's a ruler, you know, a measuring device with some, you know, little fidget toy pop-ups, sections. Excuse the noise. Guess I probably could have muted that. Sorry about that. But the interesting thing with this, not really, but kind of interesting with this particular one, is it's actually metric, and it was in an American Dollar Tree, and I don't know if they noticed that it was metric when they purchased them. I'm cool with it, because I tend to work in metric when it comes to digital stuff. Yeah. Loves them, MkII. They were super cool in the 80s. There's some, you know, cool YouTube content related to, well, I don't know. I recently saw something where this guy had made a device that generates a plasma ring. It's in like a round dish, and it's like this little ring comes up the sides of the dish. Not very well described. I did not describe it very well, but I hadn't seen one like that. This apparently was something that was invented in the 1800s, but let's see if this takes the paint off or reacts in a weird way. Like I said, I just want to give it a little bit of a gloss for light to make it look a little more lively. Make it look a little wet. I don't necessarily want it to be fully glossy, just a little wet. That's a bit much there. Let's see if polyacrylic does something bad to acrylic paint. Probably, I'm expecting it won't. Looks like I jammed it into some some silver gunk at the bottom. I may have tried to get people a shock. Tried to get people, yeah. Tried to shock people with your plasma. Polyacrylic? Never heard of it. I guess it's polyacrylic. It's a water-based, like polyurethane, only not as pungent. I don't think I've ever seen cat paws on the globe. I suppose I could use that finish on the rest of this paint, but like I said, I want to do a gloss coat on the red. And I have spray for that. But you know, I suppose I could use this for the screen as well. I don't know how long this takes to dry. When I was doing radio control airplanes, scratch building them out of foam board, polyacrylic was one of the methods that was used to kind of waterproof the foam board. That's really pulling up the paint where I dapped it on. So we will leave that to the side, and hopefully it just doesn't remove the paint on its own. And the other stuff. That's what I didn't want to do. There we go. That's not going to be particularly visible. When first they were using Minwax. That worked. But then I think somebody figured out the polyacrylic works as well. So that's why I bought it initially. Just because this Adams Ready board that's sold at the Dollar Tree, so hence it has become known as Dollar Tree foam board at some point, some places, very small communities. It's the paper is just, it's not, the paper does not have an adhesive on it, it's just attached to the foam, you know, during the manufacture process through heat, so it's pretty easy to peel off. So if you build an airplane out of this stuff and the paper gets wet, the paper will rink and wrinkle and detach from the interior foam and fall apart and makes for bad times. Some people, I think, other ways to get around it are to cover it all with the packing tape. That works. You can spray paint it, but you have to do very light paints or very light coats, because if it has enough liquid buildup, it'll again cause the paper to detach from the foam. One of those random weird little things that I've picked up over the last decade or so. Bits of knowledge. So with this, this finish as it is now, I painted the whole thing black, a couple of coats. Then I got the airbrush out and I painted some purple around some of the panels and stuff, thinking that it would give a nice little, add some depth to it. And then I painted a, oh, well, did I forget to leave out the, did I leave out the step where I painted it black, then I painted it silver. Took a couple of coats, and even then it wasn't as smooth, consistent as I would like. Then I went with the airbrush and I added the purple in some areas, and then I did a couple of coats of the red, and the purple just kind of made it look a little bruised rather than giving it depth. And now it's a little dull, but I think once I put a clear gloss finish on it, it'll pop. So that's what I'm hoping. Now I want to paint in some of the stuff in here with this white and black paints that I added. I'm gonna make it gray. That's probably more black than I need. Maybe. We're just learning as we go. Yes, different hobbies are a great way to learn new things. And they can all kind of, yeah, you take one thing take something from one hobby and move it into another. It can inform what you're doing in the other hobby. La 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 la. Okay. Thinking if I make this gray, it'll stand out. Now, do I want to go all the way up this lip? Or do I want to stop at the bottom? I think I do want to go all the way to the lip. I don't know. It's kind of a nice effect there. Oh. So I don't know if I want to fill that in or not. But I will do this top part here. This is where I'm not the steadiest. Let's go. This is where I am the greatest in the world at it. Just trying to not talk myself down too much. 'Cause it's a habit. Don't have to broadcast my insecurities. That's looking a little, I want to say grimy isn't necessarily the word. Well, I guess so. A little grimy. Not necessarily a bad thing, though. It's just not like a super clean plastic. Hopefully this will cover up my mistakes from this other one. hide the excess silver. Would like this particular build to let me use things that I picked up in a couple of different hobbies. Specifically thinking adding the electronics to it, because I haven't done much with the electronics lately, but I still kind of like buy components for some reason. This is one of the things I kind of started getting into after a bit of a personal crisis a while ago, trying to develop new hobbies. That was one of the directions I went. Alright, let's bring back some of that silver. Of course, you can't even see it. Great camera work. There we go again. Oops, did not mean to get quite that much on the brush. I mean, I think it would be cool to sell pre-painted parts, or, you know, completely assembled things, but it's just it takes so long to make anything. Like, the painting process takes so long, and the finishing process takes so long, that, you know, if you were charging a reasonable hourly wage for your efforts, that would probably price the things out of the market. $11:25 is our current time. I just thought I'd take a look, and that's the time it is. Alright, let's get back to this and put another coat on here. There are a couple of YouTube channels that I watch for model stuff. One is Aztec Dummy. That's Lou Dalmaso's channel. And another one is Spruverse, which they are friends, and they they are friends and acquaintances, and sometimes do things together. So that's how I found about one of the other ones. There's also World of Wayne, which I haven't watched as much, but he's does live streams, and he's in Great Britain as well. The other two are in the US. East Coast, I believe? No? No? Maybe? I don't know. Lou is in North Carolina. I think Spruverse is in Maybe California or Florida. I don't remember which. But he used to work in the film industry. So do I want to bring the silver into here more, or do I want to do something different in the middle? We'll do a dry brushy type effect. Then hate it and paint over it again with black, maybe. So, all right. Let's see how our polyacrylic has dried at all. Cleaning out the silver paint from the paintbrush. Watching the glitter flow. Such excitement! And I think I flecked some glitter on the, the paint. Fun times. So much fun times. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is the worst of the two because I was touching it after the fact. Looks like that's probably not dry. Yep, no, that's not dry. Of course, it was awfully thick compared to what we did with this guy. Wow, his eyes really pop now. Compared to before. It was a little weird. Yeah. I'm happy with that. He's a little gray, a little green. Little green great man. Because he still has that coat on him, I'm not going to stick him in the chair. But here's how little dude sits. In the original version, this was all one part. I decided to make it 2 parts. Actually, this was 3 parts. I decided this outer ring here didn't need to be a separate part. So, bleep. Creepy alien. This is like, I think my first... I don't know. I did this little sculpt in... What's it called? Medium? Yeah. Sculpting program that was initially by Oculus, but then Adobe bought it. One of the first digital sculpts I did. Now let's see if we can clean up some of my mistakes. Oh, dude. Talk about mistakes. That's not supposed to be silver on the front. Oh well. Well, I have these things here. I can use these to... Luckily, the underlying paint was thoroughly dry, but still. Oof. Let's not keep adding more to it. that piece up and it's like the whole nose is covered in silver. It's like, no, that's not supposed to be like that. Well, you know what my reaction was because you saw it in real time. Then it's like, whoa, and he was like, yeah. It's like, nuh-uh. It's like, what? Those were not the reactions that were happening here. This is why you keep a clean work desk. Whoops. Now we're really... And now we're gonna do a distressed battle damaged version. Alright, where's that brush that I want to use for this? There it is. That's gonna be rough. That looks like... The problem with all of the little layers of paint. It's hard to blend them together now. Add some water to the mix. Maybe we can make it blend a little better. This side, this will just have to be the side we don't see. We'll come back to that later. Okay. Now let's hope this other stuff goes more easily. Just try touching up those areas where I accidentally flecked some paint on. Or accidentally brushed some paint on. This is the tricky one. So I think I'll finish touching up the red, and we'll add in the black or dark gray for the feet here. Might be it for the string. Oh, and the hoses on the top. You ever watch somebody, like video of somebody doing paint striping? Just amazes me that they just use a little brush with long bristles And I can get those nice, smooth, long, sweeping curves. My movements tend to be so short that I have a hard time imagining doing long, sweeping lines. Sorry for the lack of talking. Is that a problem if there's a lack of talking? I'm just kind of concentrating. What the heck? It's like you think you make something nice, and then you look at it a second later, and it's like, no, I didn't like that. Anyway. Maybe things flow a little. This is thicker than I want. I want to look like there's brush strokes on it. That's what's kind of happening. Bring it up a bit. Spread it around. This is airbrush paint, by the way. So it's not made to be applied like this. Alright. Getting close. Okay. Pretty happy with that. Alright. Oh, stretchy. Take a look at this again. This is the side that's the problem. Because of the paint that got moved around. And then removed. We'll just try to touch that up a little bit. There's a little dent there from the factory. It came with a dent. Ooh, there's this back area here. Thought there was an area that I wanted to touch up, but I don't see it now. Might be time to switch back to the silver and try to touch up the red that I just touched up. Looks like that line is up there. But that might just be something else. No, I think it's up there. I think I just had the wrong line before. Or I don't know. Remove the paint that I just added where I didn't want it to be. Hard to tell. I mean, I have definitely modeled a detail in there that delineates where one thing starts and the other begins, but for some reason I'm having trouble seeing it. And again, I'm off camera, so you can't even tell what I'm focusing on. Of course, I was holding it onto the front, so now I have silver up top. Oh. Set it aside. Let everything dry. Why oh why? Did she swallow that fly? Perhaps she'll die. There was an old lady who swallowed a spider. These pipes in here to be black, but maybe a bright blue or copper would be better. I like that. Well, let's add some black in here anyway, just to give it some definition or some depth. That's not where that goes. Again, it just adds depth. That's all it does. Depth. Alright. This part here, I do want to address this part there, where it seems like there's too much red on the bottom. This is a more visible space than some of the others. So I want this line to be as clean as possible. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. Alright, back to the black. Or the gray. Black and gray? I just want to do these little footpad things. At one point I thought about having these be removable, but they are so tiny at this scale. Maybe I'll give it a black wash after the gloss coat. Maybe I'll try to do it right now. To soak up some of what I put down. I think this is looking cool. I am just saying that. There's some more space in there that I can fill in with this dark gray I made. So what am I doing about these little pipe things? I think they should stand out a bit more. I was hoping black would do that, but I don't think it is. I think it's just going to make them disappear. A metallic blue would be lovely, but I don't think so. That's what I want. Let's do our impromptu black wash in here. AKA the dirty brush. they do disappear a little, maybe that's not so bad. It just makes the silver pop more. Speaking of silver, a little bit there. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is it for the. I say that, but then I look at this and it's like, this is definitely not done. This is definitely not done. Let's do a very wet coat there. Get into all the details. So should this inner ring be red or silver or gunmetal or something else? Let's mix up some metallic dark gray. Mix some of my silver in with my dark gray that I made earlier. This will give us a contrast at least. That's my thought process anyway. I'm loving it. But again, this part is going to be on the bottom and mostly covered up. So maybe I'm spending too much time where I don't need to spend too much time. Some black in there. Probably should have waited for that to dry. Oh well. Impatient. Sorry about that. Singing along to the song that's no longer playing. Guess that's not singing along then. Oh well. Gotta stop at some point, right? Can't just keep going and going and going. Anyway, again. Stretching, I says. Hey, let's see. I also have a couple of decals I need to cut. Actually, one should already be cut. I should already have one. I need to make a... I need to send out a... alien. A gray alien decal. Which is just... you know, an alien. Eyes and mouth. And I need to cut and send out a decal of a Black Hawk helicopter. That one came in through my website. So, cool. He's almost noon. Let me see who is on, and we will... I think we might just raid out now. Twitchy twitch twitch.
Day 2.
Doesn't look like Andy's on. Oh, yep, he is. 2 viewers. Just starting up. So we'll hang out here a little bit. I guess. Put the paint away. The red away, at least. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. It gives me practice speaking while I do some crafting. I got some grounds in my coffee. Not my proudest moment. The question is, do I dare put this all together? I do not know that I dare at this point. I'm looking at these pads, they're still very red. It's like I would like them to not be red. So, am I done yet? No, I'm not done yet. Oh my. This is the painting that never ends. Oof, clean the gutters in the cold. Because a bird built a nest in there over the summer. Oof. Yeah, working outside in the cold is not something I enjoy. I mean, sometimes maybe. I mean, working outside in general is not like my top tier of things to do, so. I'm from the Gulf Coast. I hate cold. Yeah. I mean, it could be worse. There are much, much colder places, but yeah, it's... a damp cold is not fun. Alright, now let's see what this might look like together. I changed my mind, I do dare. This actually indexes there. I'm not gonna squeeze it tight. That. Got the top part there. Yeah, and I'm not gonna touch my painted guy just yet because I'm waiting for it to dry. I'm not gonna touch that guy. I'll put another temporary part in there. This part fits a little loosely, but it can be glued. aka below freezing. It is currently 1C where I live. Yeah. It's actually fairly easy to think of, for me to comprehend 0C and 1C. Because my brain can kind of translate it to Fahrenheit pretty easily. Because it's freezing point. It's the other end where things get a little harder to visualize. When you say it's so hot, it's 30 degrees out. It's like that's when it's like does not compute. Because in Fahrenheit, 32 is freezing. You know, I probably, you know, Fahrenheit's, I mean, Celsius, centigrade, 0 is freezing point of water, and 100 is boiling point. That does make sense. Of course, it varies depending on altitude. But practically, I don't know. 100 to me feels like a high number. So it's like, it's hot when it's 100, and it's cold when it's below 32, which makes sense to me. When it's a low number, it's cold. When it's a negative number, it's really, really cold. But I don't remember the boiling point of water in Fahrenheit. It was probably 350 or something. Fahrenheit, was it 451 is the burning point of paper? Or is it 351? That's just known because of the book. So, yeah. Coming along nicely, I think. And I did find my stash of lights and stuff that I was trying to find the other day on the stream. So, I have all these guys. Like this one. These should fit fairly nicely in there. They don't fit perfectly because I didn't take into account the little resistors and capacitors or whatever is in there, but they'll fit in there nicely. If I didn't want to use those, I could use a 5mm LED. It goes in there nicely. I might use one of these little Arduino micros to control the lights. There'd be space for it inside, but I might also just have it in a base and run wires up to here. Haven't decided how I'm doing all that yet. But it's possible! It's possible! So, cool. I believe Mr. MkII is up now, so we will raid on over there. And we'll say hi to him. Let me just put this little guy together one more time. So I have something to clip. And, yeah, that'd be an interesting way to do it. Battery compartment that doubles as an exit from the stairs. Just replace the whole center section below it. Gotta have cool alien descending stairs. And then I had to sculpt his legs and stuff. That's his work. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think it's yeah, it's a nice revision. It's fewer parts, but some of the parts were extra because even the original version was reduced in scope from my original vision. because I originally had mechanical parts and stuff. Sort of like you'd spin something and the landing gears would go down, but then it's like I realized after the test print that resin doesn't like to spin against each other. Resin parts don't like to move against each other, so it wasn't gonna work. Not at this scale. So, alright. We are gonna raid on over to Mr. Andy Mecca. If I can find him. It's like always wants to do that other person when I start typing the name. Anyway. Thank you again for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Oh, and these lights, by the way, these are individually addressable. So that means that you can tell it with the controller, you can tell it which light to turn on and when and what color. These are red, green, blue LEDs, so to make a nice little color show. Let's see. Thanks again for hanging out, and I'll try to remember to stop streaming when we're actually get kicked over to the other place. So, it's when I have apparently I have 51 seconds left to raid to cancel the raid. Not sure how to start the raid from my phone. You know, as far as whatever. Oh, did I put this in here? I don't think I did. Yeah, there we go. Trying to decide what to do with the top. One of the other critiques was that you can see the letters and stuff at the top. I could make a sticker to go over that. Or I could just not use this dome at all and just put a windscreen in. I have one of those sitting on my 3D printer waiting to try out. Ready to try out. And we will see you all in a little bit. Talk to you later. Thanks again for hanging out.
Yeah. So, on the GTA as well. Fucking idiot. Good evening. You can see it. Happy Saturday. It's definitely got it. Yeah, it's down. Stop. I'll hear what he'll say. It's down. Hold on. See what's out there. The next one. That's on. It's South Korean. Yeah, the next one. Readers. Come on, in there and stay. Bruce. Hello there, Bruce. Hello there. Yeah, how's your stream?